September is upon us. I don't know how that happened. Time does, in fact, seem to fly. Remember what Groucho Marx said. Time flies like an arrow and fruit flies like a banana. Joan Rivers in the hospital. Why? Complications from an MD-directed treatment. Andy Rooney dead from complications of an MD-directed treatment. Michael Jackson dead. Why? Complications from an MD-directed medical treatment. Neil Armstrong, first man on the moon, dead. Why? Complications from an MD-directed medical treatment. The list goes on and on and on and on and on, and the MDs screw up. The MDs hurt us. The MDs harm us. The MDs kill us. The MDs bankrupt us. The MDs cause unbelievable pain and suffering because of their incompetence before the fact. And we continue to give them our hard-earned money. We continue to give them our social support. We continue to give them financial support. We give them a pass, and we look the other way when they screw up because we have become culturally conditioned to believe that they are without rebuke, that they're doing the very best that they can, and collateral damage, that's just a part of the deal. Well, again, it's good to be king, because when you're king, you can get away with murder, the leading cause of death in the United States, MD-directed medical therapeutics. 780,000 people a year are killed by MD-directed medical treatments, which means medical doctors kill more people a year than cancer. So why aren't the Susan G. Komen women marching to stop MD-directed medicine? I mean, if you're really concerned with saving human lives, shouldn't you be concerned with the number one killer? Well, the number one killer is MD-directed medical treatments. If you're suffering with a chronic illness, if you're having trouble digesting your food, if you're plagued by chronic heartburn, if your blood pressure is elevated, if you have no energy, if it's hard for you to fall asleep, hard for you to stay asleep, if it's hard for you to move around the golf course, if it's hard for you to walk down the street, if your weight is out of control, if your appetite is out of control, if your kids are driving you crazy because they're spaced out like zombies or they're like little Energizer bunnies with no control and no manners, well, you don't have a bad gene. You have a bad doctor. Isn't it the medical professionals that we've hired? Isn't it the MDs who we have given our health over to? Isn't it their responsibility to make sure that we are as healthy as we possibly can be? I mean, after all, we pay medical insurance premiums every month just to gain access to their expertise. Heaven forbid anything goes wrong with us. And then, when something does go wrong with us, the MDs are completely incapable of helping to fix the problem. And apparently we're all okay with this because this is what we do. This is what happens in this culture that we live in right now. This is what happens all around the world. And the only reason that the MDs delivering such substandard, old-fashioned, outdated, dangerous, ineffective, and expensive medical therapeutics, the only reason that they are allowed to continue to practice medicine is because they are the kings of the realm. I'm a licensed naturopathic physician. I went to a fully accredited naturopathic medical school. By the way, this is an interesting thing to talk about. Let's think about this. Let's say I grew up in Massachusetts and I went to Harvard University and I graduated from Harvard University Medical School. Well, that's in Massachusetts. How is it that I am allowed to sit for a licensing exam in California or Florida or Kansas or Alaska or Hawaii or Maine, Vermont, New Hampshire, Rhode Island, anywhere else in the United States besides Massachusetts? How is that possible that I was educated in Massachusetts at a Massachusetts school, but I'm allowed to practice medicine anywhere in the United States as long as I pass the board exam? What allows me to even sit for the board exam? Well, it's the United States Department of Education's accreditation organization. The United States Department of Education has an accrediting process through which different schools, different universities are vetted. And you have to pass muster. and become accredited. And if your university or your college passes muster and you become accredited, then guess what? Your degree is good in all 50 states. So guess what? The naturopathic medical schools here in the United States have been fully accredited. I graduated from a fully accredited medical school in the United States. It's not an allopathic MD medical school. It's not an osteopathic DO medical school. It's not a chiropractic DC medical school. It's a naturopathic ND medical school, fully accredited, vetted, and approved by the United States Department of Education. So why is it possible then that having done that in the great state of Washington, in the great city of Seattle, having graduated from a fully accredited medical university, licensed to practice medicine in the great state of Washington, how is it then possible that it is illegal for me to practice medicine in 35 other states in the United States? How is that possible? Well, it's possible because we don't have a free medical market. And this is a problem. Would you be okay if your state legislature passed a law tomorrow that said the only people that can sell gasoline in your state is BP? Nobody else gets to sell gasoline there. The only people that get to sell hamburgers in your state is McDonald's. Nobody else can sell hamburgers there. Would you be okay with that? Of course not. You would not be okay with that, but you are, in fact, okay with a medical monopoly. You are, in fact, okay with not having naturopathic medicine fully licensed and fully regulated in all 50 states. You are, in fact, okay with your medical insurance not covering chiropractic, not covering homeopathic, not covering naturopathic, not covering acupuncture, not covering traditional Chinese medicine, not covering Ayurveda, not covering naturopathic medicine or homeopathy. You're okay with that. Apparently you're okay with that because I don't see any million-man march on Washington, D.C. protesting the medical inequality here, even though in the 1700s, Dr. Benjamin Rush, one of the signers of the Declaration of Independence, who put his life, liberty, and family fortune on the line so that the United States of America could be born, Dr. Benjamin Rush said, unless we put medical freedom into the Constitution, the time will come when medicine will organize itself into a dictatorship. To restrict the art of healing to one class of men and deny equal privileges to others will constitute the Bastille of medical science. All such laws are un-American and despotic. Well, guess what? That's exactly what's happened, and if Dr. Benjamin Rush were alive today, there would be a revolution of sorts, or maybe he would have been thrown in jail. Not sure. In any event, there was conversation when they were writing the Declaration of Independence as to whether or not they should allow medical freedom into the Bill of Rights. They decided not to. More's the pity. Because we do not have medical freedom as an inalienable right, anybody with their wits about them, with enough deep pockets and legislative chutzpah. I probably just misused that word. Forgive me. Can rise to the top. The medical profession, the MDs, have risen to the top of the food chain. Not because their therapeutics are better, not because their therapeutics are more effective. Their therapeutics are the least effective for chronic disease of any medical therapeutics in the world. Right? I mean, while the MDs have been in charge of medicine, Alzheimer's is skyrocketing, amyotrophic lateral sclerosis skyrocketing, multiple sclerosis, Parkinson's disease, cancer, heart disease, type 2 diabetes, arthritis, high blood pressure, autism, Alzheimer's disease. They're escalating. The MDs suck at chronic disease. They do. Facts are a stubborn thing. You're welcome to your own opinion, just not your own set of facts. While we've given our control of our medical industry over to the MDs who legislated themselves into power, they legislated themselves into the power backed by the pharmaceutical industry, especially the Carnegies and the Rockefellers. Since they have been the exclusive kings of the domain of medicine, we are getting worse and worse and worse and worse and worse, and we spend way more money than any other country in the world, and we have unbelievably piss-poor health outcomes. Why? Because we've taken the wrong dog to the hunt. We've gone to the MD with a chronic health condition. Even though they are absolutely ill-suited, it is incapable of an MD to generate a cure for a chronic disease because their methodology, their research methodology, the scientific methodology that they are trained in is referred to as allopathic reductionism. And allopathic reductionism argues the human body is a bag of biochemicals waiting to break, and when it does break, it's not the doctor's job to fix it, it's the doctor's job to institute a hostile chemical takeover of the biochemistry of your body and manage your symptoms. I mean, I say it all the time because it's true, glaringly apparent, but everybody misses it. Your MD doesn't even know how to cure heartburn. They don't. They can manage it. They can't cure arthritis. They can manage it. They can't cure high blood pressure. They can manage it, and they can't cure anything. Well, you know, a couple of infectious diseases. Throw an antibiotic at it. Maybe if you get lucky, it'll kill it. Maybe you won't develop an antibiotic-resistant bacterial infection, right? But for chronic disease, forget it. And to the profession that does not even know how to cure heartburn. The Internet. Silly, misguided people, played by the pharmaceutical industry, gave $100 million to come up with a cure for amyotrophic lateral sclerosis to the company, the profession that doesn't even know how to cure heartburn. You've got to be kidding me. Ladies and gentlemen, it's all time we collectively woke up, dusted ourselves off, and entered into an adult conversation about effective treatments for chronic disease. The MDs don't have them. They never will. That's why my advice, fire your medical doctor now. Mission Impossible, ladies and gentlemen. That's what I say, Mission Impossible. If you're listening to the radio show or watching on YouTube and you want to get more involved in the conversation, the worldwide conversation here, please visit the drgliddenshow.tv where you can join in the live video stream and enter into a chat room where there are nearly 100 people now. Let me get a good count. 76 people in the chat room from all over the world. We have Texas in the house. We have Lithuania in the house. We have Greece in the house. We have Florida in the house. California, of course. Sardinia is in the house. Ireland is in the house. All over the United States, all over Canada. This is a worldwide coalition of the informed. And you can join the chat. It's free. The drgliddenshow.tv. Check it out. Now, I'm going to read one of the questions from a member of the chat room because it's important, and then we will get right to the phones. This gentleman is brand new to longevity. It's Jeff from California. My wife is excited about longevity, but she's afraid she may react to the products as she has had a history of allergic reactions in the past. She knows that a huge component of her problems is emotional, psychological, spiritual, but she knows she needs physical support. How should she going about taking it? What do we do? I thought we knew a lot about health, but I learned something every time I watch one of your videos. I appreciate that, and this is one of our mantras, right? Knowledge is power. And there is so very much information about holistic health, which is in the zone of the stuff that I didn't even know. I didn't know that, right? I mean, it's so far outside of most people's reference ranges. Holy smokes, I didn't know that I didn't know that. Well, that's why my insider subscription service is so very popular, because the information that's contained there, hundreds of hours of health-related videos, from the holistic perspective, is slowly starting to change the dynamic of how medicine is delivered. You know, you can't keep the truth down. Even, in Cro-Magnon days of ostensibly before anybody knew anything about mathematics, 2 + 2 = 4, in base 10 arithmetic, and that's a universal constant. Always did and it always will. You don't even have to know about mathematics. 2 + 2 is still going to equal 4. Well, it's the same with facts and truth. What we talk about here is the truth as we know it. More to come, right? That's why it's called the practice of medicine. Science marches on. Human understanding progresses. Hopefully, it progresses on this radio program for sure. But this is what we talk about. This is the skill set that we bring to the table. Truth about nutrition that most people are completely clueless about, and this is why this radio show grows in popularity every day. This is why my insider subscription service on my website grows in membership every single day, because the truth will out. So, from our point of view, when somebody has an allergic reaction to anything, they have an allergic reaction not because of the food that they were eating, but because of a problem in their intestinal tract. When somebody has a problem in their intestinal tract, they have a problem with food allergies. And this is how it goes in human digestion. You put something into your mouth, you chew it up. It mixes with the saliva, your teeth start to crush it, and that starts to break down the food mechanically. And then also a little bit chemically from the saliva, and then the food drops into your stomach. Your stomach is a great big bag of acid. And if you're healthy, your stomach acid is really, really, really strong. So your stomach acid digests what you have just swallowed into a liquid. And then that liquid passes out of your stomach into your small intestine. You have between 9 and 12 feet of small intestine in your body, depending on your height and your weight. And also, inside the small intestine, there are billions of tissues called villi and microvilli, the intention of which are to absorb the nutrients that your stomach just turned into a liquid and pass it into the bloodstream. That's how nutrients pass into the blood, through the small intestine. However, and then the undigested food, the portion that your body couldn't use, passes into the colon and you excrete it from the body. Okay? That's how it works. Now, only problem here is because we've let the food industry tell us what to eat, most of the food that people eat on a regular basis hurts the small intestinal tract. It harms the tissue in the small intestine. It's not good for you. So you consistently eat all the wrong food. It damages the villi and the microvilli, causing microscopic holes in the small intestine. And that's the presumptive cause, from our point of view, of a food allergy. I'll talk more about that on the other side of the break, and then we're going to California to talk to Kat. Stick around. Wowza! Weed's back. Weed's live. That's right. Talk to Kat in California in just a second. Wanted to finish up my thoughts from the previous installment. So, our position is that when you eat all the wrong food, you develop a condition called a leaky gut. Now, there's microscopic holes in the small intestine, and so now big molecules of food can slip into the bloodstream where only small molecules of food should be. So even if it's 100% organically grown carrot, right? No GMO. Awesome stuff. But it's a molecule this size instead of a molecule this size. The immune system will recognize it as a foreign invader, mount an immune response against it, try to kill it, and in the process develop antibodies to the carrot. So the next time you eat a carrot, even if you digest it properly, the molecular signature of the carrot will generate the antibody reactivity, and now you have antibodies flooding into your bloodstream, trying to kill every carrot molecule that is there, and that's how food allergies are born. This is our belief. So, limiting the strategy to deal with food allergies is kind of threefold. Number one, you have to stop eating food that's hurting the small intestine. So, stop eating the 10 bad foods. And if you don't know what that list is, folks, you can get it for free on the front page of my website. Sign up for my newsletter. It's free. You'll get the list of the 10 bad foods in addition to a video that explains why they're bad. And it's free. So number one, you eliminate the 10 bad foods. By the way, the website, drglidden.com. drglidden.com. That's Glidden, just like the paint. No relation. So, number one, we stop eating the 10 bad foods. Number two, we give the body support, nutritional support for a healthy digestive tract. The recommendation there, one healthy digestion pack per 100 pounds of body weight per month, one healthy digestion pack per 100 pounds of body weight per month. And number three, identify and eliminate any foods that you know that you are in fact allergic to. Now, generally speaking, if you eliminate foods that you know that you're allergic to for 9 months, maybe 12 months, maybe a little bit more while you're doing the other stuff, ostensibly the antibody production in the body goes down to zero, and then you can eat the food that you were allergic to in the future because you've helped to support and promote the structure and function of the intestinal milieu. Your immune system is now healthy and happy. Your intestinal tract is now healthy and happy, and life is good. Now, in one of the longevity products, the Beyond Tangy Tangerine, which is one of the foundation nutritional support products that I recommend, and I'm drinking some right now. If you're watching on the video stream, it's delicious. That's the pause that refreshes. Beyond Tangy Tangerine is a foundation nutritional product, and it contains over 100 fruits and vegetables, to which anybody may in fact have a low grade or a moderate grade or high grade food reactivity to. So, when you are taking the Beyond Tangy Tangerine and you have a history of reactivity to foods, the recommendation is start with a very small dose. Now, the general dose for everybody is 1 level scoop in 12 ounces of water per 50 pounds per day. So if you're 150 pounds, you're going to do 1 level scoop in 12 ounces of water 3 times a day. However, if you have a history of reactivity to food, the recommendation would be to cut that dose in half. I would do a half a scoop in 12 ounces of water 3 times a day, and I would take an hour at least to drink each dose. So you want to ease into it slowly, building towards the optimal dose, which is 1 level scoop in 12 ounces of water per 50 pounds per day. That's the goal. So you got to muck around with that. Start with a much more dilute dose, and every 9 or 10 or 14 days, increase it a little bit until you hit the mark for your body weight. And often, if you have a history of food reactivity and you sidle on into the Beyond Tangy Tangerine slowly, then you are good to go. And it's the same thing with the liquid calcium. Although people tend to have less reactivity to the liquid calcium than they do to the Beyond Tangy. But remember, it's not the supplement. It's your body's reaction to the supplement based on an unhealthy digestive tract or, in a healthy digestive tract. If you have a healthy digestive tract, this ain't going to be a problem. If it was the supplement, everybody that took it would have the problem, right? It's like cyanide. Everybody that takes it, well, they have a problem with that. Well, if you have a problem with any of the longevity nutritional supplements, that's an indication that there's a problem afoot. The game is afoot with your body, and we need to attend to that. And 9 times out of 10, it's a digestive issue. I hope that helped to answer the question. In the chat room, ladies and gentlemen, there currently are, where's my mouse? There currently are 88 people from all over the world. Join the live chat. It's free. TheDrGliddenshow.tv. TheDrGliddenshow.tv. Check it out. Let's go to California and speak to Kat. Hey, Kat, thanks for the call. You are live.
Hi, Dr. Glidden. How are you?
Oh, I'm great, but God willing and the creek don't rise, I'll get better. What's happening, Kat?
Amen. Well, I'm a longevity distributor, and I have a group of senior ladies that I lunch with on a regular basis, and they're MD addicted, afraid to not do what the doctors say. But specifically, the question is, one of my friends, she has MS. And so she's in her late 60s. So I do massage for her, and I'm starting to use CM cream and the massage to give us some relief. But what's the protocol? What is a good protocol with your products, Dr. Wallach's products, to get her? She's open to hearing about a product for MS.
Okay, well, keep in mind, first of all, I really appreciate your support and your tenacity before the fact. It's very difficult talking to people who, don't want to listen to you, but this is our lot in this life, right? I guess we've rolled these dice, and this is where it falls. So there are a couple of things that I would encourage you to understand. Number one, there's the old saying, prophets are rarely accepted in their hometown. So people are less likely to take action if you tell them to take action than they are if the licensed physician with clinical experience tells them to take action. That's just how we're wired culturally here.
Yeah.
So on my website, as an insider, as a subscriber to my online health recovery information, you have immediate access to over 200 hours of videos that I've done about, different aspects of disease and health and how they relate to the holistic method. So I did an entire 60-minute webinar on multiple sclerosis, the MD's view of it and the holistic view of it and what the MDs think about it and what we think about it and what we recommend people do to support and promote the structure and function of their central nervous system if they've been saddled with that diagnosis. So perhaps a more effective tool for you to use, because you seem to be very proactive here, is to become an insider, and then as an insider, you can go into your subscription and you can cut, copy, and paste a link to any of my videos and send them to your prospective customers. I know a doctor that did a video on multiple sclerosis and the holistic perspective on how to support a healthy central nervous system. I'm going to email it to you. I want you to watch it and then call me back. I think that might be a more effective strategy for you because, people are funny, right? I mean, people are just funny in how they go about this. So
that's so true.
Well, it is. And, what we're up to here really is changing people's lives and getting at least a little tiny foot in the door so they at least try something, because most people, when they try even just a little bit of what we talk about, they like how they feel and they want to do more. So it's a crazy situation, and sometimes we have to, not trick people, but we have to leverage people's minds into,
Dr. Glidden?
Yeah.
Can I ask you one quick question about calcium in particular? This keeps coming up. All of them, of course, are on many pharmaceuticals for blood pressure, blood thinner, all that. And when I've recommended calcium, OsteoFX, for their roaring gingivitis, and you can just imagine bone osteoporosis, they say, oh no, my doctor has said to stay away from all calcium supplements. I'm to stay away from calcium. So could you just address that briefly?
Well, yeah, no, because I could, and I have, and I've got webinars about it, and I've lectured. I have a chapter in my book about it. I think I've talked about this at length. But look, here's the deal, Kat. They're not going to believe it because it goes against what their doctor said, and even though under their doctor's care, their health is getting worse and worse and worse and worse and worse, they've drunk that Kool-Aid. And there's nothing that I can tell them that's going to change their idea about it. So my recommendation to you is move on and find a community that will listen, because you're wasting your time with these people. What I would do instead is get a brochure for a funeral home, and I'd give it to them, and I'd staple my business card to it. And I'd say, look, if you want to ever get your head out of your rear end, then give me a call, because your doctor's an idiot. I can't believe you've listened to him as much as you have. I have to go and talk to people who want to listen. Look, not everybody got on the ark, right? More's the pity. So you need to leave the dead to bury the dead. No kidding. Move on and find someone who will listen, because there are people in your community. There are people that you have access to every day who want to hear this, who need to hear it, and who will listen to it. So let me just give you the Reader's Digest condensed version. To support and promote healthy central nervous system function, the recommendation is 1 healthy brain and heart pack, 1 bottle of plant-derived minerals, and 1 bottle of immortalium per 100 pounds of body weight per month. That's 1 healthy brain and heart pack, 1 bottle of plant-derived minerals, and 1 bottle of immortalium per 100 pounds of body weight per month. In addition to that, it would not be a bad idea to add 4 boxes of Triple Treat chocolate a month. That's right, 4 boxes of Triple Treat chocolate a month. And recommend, of course, they must eliminate the 10 bad foods, but here's the clincher. Our central nervous systems are 75% of our brain and central nervous system, our nerves, our brain are made from cholesterol. That's what they're made from. So the recommendation here is to consume a diet high in cholesterol. And, you know, if these people were my patients in states in which I could prescribe statin drugs, the recommendation would be that they completely flush all their statin drugs down the toilet yesterday, because there is a direct link between statin drugs and dementia. And, you know, statin drugs reduce cholesterol. Well, what's your brain and central nervous system made from cholesterol? That's not a good idea in our point of view. So that's the recommendation. The Healthy Brain and Heart Pack, the Immortalium, the plant-derived minerals, a diet high in cholesterol. Good luck convincing these people to do that, Kat. You just have to move on, for goodness sake, and find people who are ready, willing, and able to listen to you, because they are there. They are present in your life. You just have to find them. This is what we're up to, ladies and gentlemen. Plugging away at, you know, mental, what's the word, intractability. The sower had good seed. Every once in a while, you're going to find fertile ground. Until you do, move on. I'm Dr. Peter Glidden. Kathy from Maryland is up next. Stick around. We're back. There's a robust chat going on. 80-plus people from all over the world. Check it out. TheDrGliddenShow.tv. By the way, if you're listening to this on a terrestrial radio station and you like what you hear and you want products or more information, listen to the commercial break and call the phone number your local radio station advertises, because there are longevity representatives in your neck of the woods who are waiting right now to help you. Dr. Glidden can only do so much. I'm not a one-man band. I am a member of Longevity Nation, a supporter of Longevity Nation, which is a coalition of independent business owners all around the world. So if you're listening to terrestrial radio and you want to learn more, listen to the commercial break and call the 800 number or the number that your radio station gives out, and someone from Longevity Nation will be there to answer all of your questions. If you found me all by yourself through YouTube advertising or a video that I did and you want more information, the number to call, 855-347-3696, 855-347-3696. And last but not least, if you were directed here by a Longevity member and you like what I'm talking about, get with them to get more information about how to move forward with science-based, clinically verified foundation medical nutrition for the masses. Maryland is up next. We're going to talk to Kathy. Hey, Kathy, thanks for the call. You are live.
Hi, Dr. Glidden. I'm that one that called you from the hospital. Your first and only patient.
Oh, yeah. I remember. So they let you out and you're alive.
Yeah, I'm alive. And I finally got off all the medicine, because he said the two things that I was supposed to take were the two highest ones they had. Neither one of them were working to get my arrhythmia stopped.
Right.
And then I was still on something called Metropol or something like that.
Metoprolol.
Yeah, and I found that, isn't that a calcium blocker?
Yeah, well, yes, it is. It's a calcium channel blocker. It's kind of an old-fashioned, outdated therapeutic for people with brains the size of walnuts. The only person that would ever prescribe that drug, they're going to have a brain the size of a walnut.
Well, those of the heart doctors must have those kind of brains, because they both said I should take it. Well, I finally, after going to him, and every time I'd go to him, my heart was still out of rhythm, and he said I needed to have an operation, and I needed, what do you call it?
It's ablation.
Ablation. And I said, oh, no, I had that once before in 96, and I'm not doing it again. I'm not giving you a second chance to kill me. And he said, oh, no, we know how to do it better now. I said, no. And so I said, okay, explain it to me. And, he said, well, we just go in and we freeze a little bit of the tissue. It's electrical. You don't need it. And I went, oh, that sounds like it's just tissue. It's not a fetus. Heck no.
Yeah, well, this underlines the mentality that the reductionists are trained in because, he actually believes that. He actually believes that.
And I said, no.
You don't need all those nerves in the heart.
I said, if you go freezing my heart, my heart will be looking like Jared.
So look, they're nuts. We're all in agreement. How do you feel and what's happening?
I got off of all. I finally weaned myself over that stupid one I just told you I had, and I have nothing that I'm taking now. Now my heart does go out of rhythm once in a while, and I just sit down and relax. Well, I joined as an insider.
Yeah.
And first thing I saw was AFib, and I watched it. You set me free, man.
Yeah, I know.
I'm like, whoa.
So you have to apply the information that I put forth in that video. You have to do all of the steps. Don't leave any of them out. And over time, this will go a long way towards supporting and promoting a healthy, normal heart rhythm.
Okay.
One of my most happiest success stories is with a big insider supporter in Seattle. He had AFib so bad and a strong history of it that the MDs wanted to kill him. They wanted to kill him. They wanted to put him on the table, stop his heart from beating, wait, and then start the heart back up, hoping that when it started back up, it'd be beating properly again.
That was one of the other things he was going to do to me, but
it's called cardioversion.
God intervened or something because my heart went in rhythm.
All right, well, listen, stick it out, girl. We're up against a hard break. I appreciate you. Give me a call back every couple of weeks with a report. I will look forward to it. This is how we do it, ladies and gentlemen. One person at a time. More to come at 6 after the hour.